is that up there?
Sound like
Good
Steve.
morning. It sounded like Frank Jr.'s in the house, didn't it?
I think that might have been Steve.
All right, that was Steve. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Today in L.A. We got a stranger on our show today.
Yeah.
Stephen Curtis is with us, and good to see you, my
Good to see
friend.
you, Mike. Glad to be here.
Of course, Stephen's a candidate for the judgeship. Is that right?
That's right, district judge here in Pike County.
And
2 weeks from today is election day.
2 weeks from today, and tell us the reason why we haven't seen you on Tuesdays.
Well, I've been coming on every Tuesday morning for the last 6 months or so. It was 5 weeks ago this morning.
Yeah, that's right.
Got sick, had a little medical issue. Actually, while I was here, ended up having...
I gave you a stroke, is that right?
I don't think it was you. The doctors say it had nothing to do with any kind of stress or anything, but I did have something called a vertebral artery dissection, which is basically a broken blood vessel in the back of my neck, which can be caused from any kind of physical trauma or anything like that. So it was considered to be a minor stroke, and luckily I'm very fortunate I didn't have any kind of no cognitive issues or anything like that. Got a little balance issues right now on my left side. I'm able to walk by myself and do things like that, and so still trying to get that balance back.
You're still practicing law, is that right?
Still working. It slowed me down a little bit. Now I'm not gonna kid you about that. The Lord said, "Hey, you need to slow down." So, trying to get my strength back. I stay tired, which is I think common after you have a dissection in your vertebrae.
All right. Did you explain exactly what you felt dizzy?
Got dizzy.
First thing.
I'd gotten dizzy the night before, and then I got dizzy actually sitting right here.
You think it was
show.
sort of okay.
I didn't know what it was. I ended up got to my vehicle and started getting kind of nauseous, and ended up coming back into the studio here and just got sick. And didn't really know what it was. I didn't know if it was a virus or vertigo or what.
But now you sat down for about 35, 40 minutes instead of taking you. Or actually having somebody call an ambulance.
Yeah, I did. I was sick. I was here in the bathroom, just not feeling well. But ended up getting transported. I went by ambulance to the hospital here in Troy at the ER and got great care out there. Dr. Nasca.
Yeah, that's right.
They did some.
Is Dr. Nasca still out there?
He's back out there.
I don't ever see him.
Yeah.
I don't ever see him. He's a dear friend of mine.
He's a good ER doctor.
He sure is. We're very fortunate to have him.
So they did a CT scan and determined that it was some type of minor stroke, and so we ended up getting transferred to Birmingham to UAB and stayed up there in the hospital for about 5 days, and been getting better every day.
So your conditions were not so bad that you had to have the shot, that famous shot that you had to have.
The shot is what's called a clot buster, so you can have a stroke by having a clot that blocks a blood vessel, and they give you that shot that busts that clot. Mine was just from a broken blood vessel.
Little small.
A hole in the blood vessel. Yeah. So the shot doesn't do any good for that.
Exactly.
But luckily it's sealed off.
Had you had high blood pressure before or anything?
I've been taking, low dose of blood pressure medicine for about 10 years. But no major high risks. I wasn't on any kind of cholesterol medication or anything like that. I'm taking that now just as a precaution. But, the doctors said, look, this is just it's not rare, but just from an injury in your neck. They said you can have this happen from, they say chiropractors can cause it. I'm not knocking chiropractors. I love going to chiropractor, but they said it could have happened.
Yeah, well, anybody messing with it,
they said just doing your neck like this to pop your neck.
Yeah, that's right.
That can cause that, or washing your hair and leaning back in the shower can cause that. So.
And what is it when you get dizzy and off balance a little bit? What do they call that? Vertigo.
And that's what they first thought
the first
mine
thing
was.
I would have thought.
And the symptoms are like that. So, but I want people to know that I'm, even though I had this minor stroke, that I'm, I'm good. My campaign's still going. The election 2 weeks from today. I'm looking forward to it, and hoping for the best. And want people to know I'm still on the campaign trail.
And of course, tell them what you're running for.
I'm running for district judge in Pike County. That's the seat Judge Hightower's vacating after 43 years on the bench.
Right.
So big shoes.
And you have appeared before Judge Hightower on many occasions.
I practice in his court all the time. I've always got multiple.
So that
cases
gave you a lot of experience.
Oh yeah,
is that right?
Worked in his courtroom for 20 years basically.
Yeah.
So
I want to mention our good friends, ladies and gentlemen, with the and the Exchange Club put on the 27th annual Tip Collie Awards last night, and the winner was Brock Snyder of Goshen, quarterback and outstanding young man, and
Abby
Barron is the female recipient. Both these young people will get $1,500 scholarships. The runner-up last night was, let me make sure I get everything right now.
Peyton Phillips was the runner.
Peyton Phillips, yeah, was the male runner-up, and the female runner-up was, okay, let's make sure I know what I think it was, oh gosh, I know it, I think it's Abigail Salmon. I want to say it was the
I'm not
female runner-up, and then there was another runner-up too, and that was Wood Genwright, and the second runner-up was Wood Genwright, not Wood, but Reed.
Gotcha.
Sorry about that, Reed. Well, your twin brother was very worthy, no question. And then the second runner-up in the girls category was Eden Hips. So I think that is the way it went last night. If I'm wrong, I do apologize, but
that's a great program
again,
to have.
You're right, and congratulations to all of the nominees: Parrish Adams, Abby Barron, Selena Ellis, Destiny Flournoy, Eden Hips, Wood Genwright, Jazarian Lampley, Anna Mae, Abigail Salmon, Brock Snyder, Tina Jones, Macy Waller, Stuart Wilson, Logan Wilson, Tyler Tyson, Emma Strickland, Haley Sasser, Tayden Phillips, Noah Lowry, Caroline Kirk. Oh, excuse me.
That's right.
Caroline Kirk was one of the all right, yeah, she was the runner-up. Caroline Kirk was the runner-up, and instead of Abigail Salmon, Reed Genwright, Jordan Grice, Hollis Floyd, Caitlin Dendy, and Sydney Armstrong. And the second runner-up, again, I apologize, but was Caroline Kirk, and the second runner-up in the girls category was Eden Hips. So, and then of course the winner was Abby Barron. So congratulations. Of course, all of these nominees for the 2018 Tip Collie Awards, they'll give you a nice certificate that you can have framed and put on your wall forever. And I would do that.
My son was nominated last year, and we got to go to that program. It's just a great program. That
oh yeah, it really is. And I tell you, my compliments go to the Exchange Club, and of course the guys that started it was the Civitan Club with the Wise Boys and Jeff Kervin and all those guys. Got it started, and then they gave it up to the Exchange Club, and of course Exchange Club had just took off.
They've done a good job with it.
Did a real good job. The speaker last night was Mike
Lexington Kirkland.
Yeah, Lexington Kirkland, and of course it was his son that died so tragically in an automobile accident 2 or 3 years ago. And of course he was a former Auburn Star tight end, and it told about the main focus of that presentation was, hey, be careful of the mistakes you make.
That's all right.
Because it can cost your life. And this kid had never been in trouble, never done anything wrong, and got in the car with some guys that were partying, and he was partying, and he made a mistake, and they had a terrible one-car accident that killed not only killed him but killed several others. And Mr. Lexington Kirkin is going all over the country on his son's behalf, talking to young people.
Yeah, and he's got a story to tell. I've never been fortunate enough to hear him, and I've heard lots of good things about the way that he presents that story.
No question about it. Of course, a lot going on. Zion Chapel seniors earned their diplomas. Pike Liberals are already on theirs. They'll be going on their trip very soon, and that's a lot of fun. Also, the Troy Board of Education honored several student leaders, and the Special Olympics was another big time success, and congratulations to those folks, and so many outstanding young people in our county. And of course several have already been honored, and I was there at Honors Day not long ago, a few days ago, and it was so impressive, and we're again very conscious of all these great things that are happening to young kids. This time last year, you had a son that graduated. Is that right?
From Charles.
And you, I'm sure your wife was sitting in the audience just with tears coming down her eyes, and all these mamas and daddies. In fact, the Charles Henderson graduation is in the morning at the it's going to be held at the Trojan Arena, which hey, town and gown,
fancy.
because that is wonderful the way it's been raining. And for them to allow Charles Henderson to use that facility, I think that's wonderful.
Great opportunity.
And again, and thank you, Dr. Hawkins and General Gravan and folks who made that happen. And I want to mention again, the great relationship between Troy University and the community is second to none. And of course, with all these, like I said, these mamas and daddies are sitting in the stands crying, and these kids have got a smile a mile wide, excited and going on trips and having a good time. But I always say this, and you know it very well, is as long as you control the pocketbook, they're not going anywhere. I promise you.
That's exactly right.
They'll be right there with you.
That's right. And that's
course,
okay.
What are your children doing now?
Well, my oldest is just finished his first year at Troy, and so he's just working this summer. He works on campus.
And loves Troy, I bet.
He loves going to Troy. He's enjoyed his first year.
You and I, did you? You went?
I went to Troy.
But didn't you have a good time?
I did. I think Troy's a great place to get an undergraduate.
And and the thing about it, and a lot of kids say, well, I'll have to stay at home, and I won't be able to enjoy that part of it. Heck, stay at home a semester or two and save your money up and get your part-time job and live on campus.
Done. He lived at home. He's still living at home right now, and of course he wants to move out, and we're looking at that. But
and he might want to live in the fraternity house or something like that. A great picture of the winners of the Tip Cully Award. Now, Jerry, it's always been nice to give me a plug, because I work this every year.
Right.
I introduce all the seniors, and all these, nominees, and have proudly done so for several years. But usually at the tail end, he says, and the winners are welcome to come on Mike Amos' show the next morning. Well, he didn't say it this time, so we probably won't have them.
You can still invite them.
But I tell you what, the winner, Brock Snyder, I go way back with him. I go way back with his daddy, and I was going to give his daddy a ring this morning because I know he was proud. You and I, who know the background of all this and have seen it happen for 27 years, I think that's how many times it's been. And we knew Dr. Colley and knew what he stood for. We probably understand it more than they do in a way.
Right. Exactly.
But let me just say this: a very coveted award in honor of a great man, Dr. Tip Colley. And Tip Colley and I went to Sunday school together. We were in the Braca Sunday school class, and and he was good about bringing donuts.
Is that right?
And
is that why you were in that class?
That's right. That's exactly why, because I got donuts and coffee first thing, and I would and then After he died, I started bringing the donuts.
Really? How about that?
For a while, and now I take the donuts to Calvary. But of course, again, we're awfully proud of these young people, and of course, and their parents I know are jumping up and down, and we did get that right on the girls and the boys. Again, we'll call the names out one more time. Tatum Phillips. Now, he's the young man whose brother was Pike County's first Bryant Jordan recipient.
Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, there's been several nominees.
Right.
But he actually won the award.
Really?
His brother did.
I didn't realize
it
that.
still goes to Auburn on that scholarship, I'm sure. Wow. And then of course congratulations to Tatum, and then Brock Snyder and Reed Jenright, and I accidentally mentioned Wood, but Wood was a nominee.
That's
and was
right.
very deserving.
That's right.
Hey, I can hear. I can hear the grandmama right now said, "You messed up, you messed up." But let me tell you something. Wood Jenright could be just as easy. All these nominees could have just as easily been
to have
the
two sons
winner.
Nominated at one time, that's pretty honorable.
It sure is, no question about it. And of course, we want to mention Eden Hip. Again, she was the second runner-up, and then of course Reed Jenright was also a second runner-up, and of course the winner. I don't want to miss out on Caroline Kirk.
First runner-up.
She's the valedictorian of the
Pike
Liberal Arts. So smart.
Absolutely.
And my wife always, as athletic minded as I am, and I'm proud to be that way.
Right.
But I do admire good academics too. But my wife says the most important thing is not being a great athlete. It is to be smart. Hey, be smart and go out and make a career for yourself.
That's right. But you can do both.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. And all of these are very smart people. And what I'm saying, they've been good all in academics. And how many times I'm sure they've been told, go do your homework, and you can't watch that show.
That's right.
The worst thing you can do is let a child have a TV in his room.
That's right.
Because and more important, don't ever let your child have a lock on their door, ever.
That's right.
Because my son would shut that door and lock it. I didn't know what was going on the other side of that door.
That's right.
I know he was watching ball, like his daddy probably would have been back.
Right.
But again, don't you agree?
I agree
About the TV? You got it is an obstacle unless your child has real good study habits.
Most of the kids that were nominated for this award, even if they had TVs in the room, they're probably disciplined enough where they're gonna.
That's right.
There's certain students that they're still just motivated regardless, and they're not going to be distracted. But
you would have thought, and of course, my neighbor across the street, Richard Bassett, one of the all-time great football players at Charles Henderson. Who would have thought his son would make 36 on the ACT test?
It's amazing.
It'd be and I think he works out west with who in Oregon.
That's right. I think you're exactly right.
Of course, everybody knows who who is.
Right. Amazing.
And of course, hey, you can be smart. Be
That's
smart
right.
if you can.
That's exactly right. It's important.
Okay, and of course, Troy University closed out their regular season, as we mentioned the other day, by winning the series against South Alabama. Now they're ready to go to the playoffs. Good morning. You're on Today in LA. How you doing?
Hey, morning.
Mike, he's alive and well.
Hey, Mike. It's Stephen Curtis.
Stephen's on the line.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm good.
He's
How are
with
you?
us this morning and looks good, and he's ready to go.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. Heard you had a little health scare.
Yeah, it's kind of scary, but things are getting better every day, so I'm back at it.
Now, you went through some
some rehab, physical therapy, basically.
Therapy at Spain, which is one of the top facilities in the country,
isn't it? And they asked us if we wanted to do that. You know, when you have the kind of stroke I had and you lose your, you know, I didn't lose any strength on my left side, which is common with a stroke. I mean, never any of that, but just the balance really was such an issue. You know, the first few days after it happened, I couldn't stand unassisted or anything like that. So just doing some physical therapy and folks, you know, helping me, working with me, and so.
And another thing too, very important, does your insurance cover it?
Oh yeah, it
does. Which is very important. Sure. And if your insurance covers it, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
You'll stay at one of the top facilities in the country.
Absolutely. And you know, I'll tell you, the day I got there, and you see all the people that are in that facility.
Oh yeah.
It's so humbling, you know, because I was so much better off than everybody in there at the time I got there. So I mean, there were people.
Of course, you did not have a severe stroke by any means. Right. In fact, what they did, they took all the precautions.
Yeah, exactly.
But and of course, I'm sure you saw a lot of people that were in bad shape. But the key to a stroke is getting to the hospital as soon as you can and get that shot. Is that right?
Yeah. If you have the kind, like I said, with the
major
blood
stroke,
clot. Yeah. So you know, and luckily for mine, I didn't have that type of stroke, but I still got the treatment out here at the hospital here in Troy, and then got taken to UAB where I needed to be. You know, some of the best neurologists in the world probably are there at UAB, and so you know. It's comforting for me and my wife and our whole family just to know that those doctors have said, look, you know, you're going to be fine. You're going to, you know, they tell you it's going to be, you know, several months before you're 100%. And that's kind of frustrating to me, but you know, just getting better every day is important. And I've made a lot of progress and continue to get better. So
no question about it.
Well, Dad, I'm sure you mentioned it, but I mean, the Dennison family's got to be extremely excited to know that Joey is the Sun Belt Player of the Year. What an honor for Joey Dennison that the Sun Belt Conference, you know, out of all those great players this year, you know, Player of the Year is what I mean. I can't remember the last time Troy had a Player of the Year in baseball.
Well, I tell you,
I mean, for him to redshirt last year after being injured and come back and have this phenomenal year, I mean, congratulations to Joey. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
You know, and tell you another thing. I think he was Player of the Year in the junior college before he finished. You know, at Southern Union. You know, so he has definitely had a great career, no question about it.
Sure.
I mean, to have that many RBIs with only like 6 home runs is really amazing to me.
How many RBIs did he end up with regular season?
70.
70. Did that break the Troy record?
The record's Tom King's got 74, so he's got definitely a really good chance if they, you know, win in 2 or 3 games in the tournament, and then hopefully made the NCAA regionals. So
great.
I don't know what kind of weather they're going to have out in Lafayette. I know that front's coming, like the depression coming up from the Gulf, and it looks like it's going to be raining for days. So
I know it.
Anybody heading out to the beach this weekend, unfortunately, looks like it's going to be really wet.
All right, now Troy's got to go to Lafayette, and then the SEC's held in Birmingham. I don't know if they'll get that
today.
SEC one in.
They start this morning, I think, don't they?
Mike,
the SEC starts today.
Yeah.
They're going to have a hard time, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, it'd be different if they played on on an all-field, all turf surface like Troy plays on, but, up here, the Hoover Met's dirt and grass.
Yeah.
So.
It's going to be muddy.
Mike, I'm reading an article.
Definitely not going to be good weather for baseball this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike, we had a great speech last night by Mike Luxenkirk, the father of the great Auburn. Yeah, and boy, what a great time to talk about, how important it is to make the right decisions in life. And his son made a wrong decision, probably one of the very few in his life, and lost his life about it. But his life moved on through his father, who is making kids aware of making the right decisions.
Because his daughter, Philip's sister, played soccer at Alabama, so he had kids play at Auburn and Alabama.
Yeah, no question about it.
That's interesting.
Want to mention a couple of things.
Who won that award?
Brock Snyder won the award last night, Mike.
Wow, I'm sure that made Bart and Stephanie awfully proud.
Yeah,
No
then
question
Abby
about
Barron
it.
won the female award.
That's right. And then the runner-ups were
Tatum.
Tatum.
I don't remember his name.
Here we are. We get off of it, and then we forget who it was. I've got it right here. I know it, but I just don't want to make a mistake here.
Early lines out of Vegas. Auburn, Washington is a pick.
Are you serious?
Really?
No question.
You know, that's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah. The other winners, of course, were Caroline Kirk was second runner-up, along with Tatum Phillips, and the second runner-up, Reed Jenright with the boys, and Eden Hips with the girls, and of course the winners, one more time, Brock Snyder and Abby Barron. So congratulations to those folks, and congratulations again to the
All the nominees.
yeah, and all the nominees, but also the Exchange Club for putting it on, and
They do a good job.
they do a great job. Mike, I noticed that some of these kids are already reporting to school. This Marcus Tank Jenkins of Texas A&M, of Park Crossing, is already reporting on Saturday to Texas A&M. They start early, don't they?
Well, Dad, a lot of guys, you know, participate in spring practice. You know, they
I
just
know,
graduated
yeah.
high school earlier.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So
Yeah.
it's no you know big deal. You know, Justin Fields, the phenom quarterback out of you know high school in Georgia. He participated in the spring game for Georgia already. I mean, you can't pass on that experience. It's great to have.
Yeah.
No question about it. Of course,
I listened
again,
to some stuff on Tua yesterday. There's going to be 2 different radio stations in Hawaii carrying Alabama football next year. How
In
crazy is
Hawaii.
that you could be on vacation out in Hawaii and hear Alabama games on radio.
Amazing.
did you see what he recently said? He said if Alabama was not going to play him in the bowl game, he was going to transfer.
Well, they've been talking about that for months. I think that he just made it official more than anything.
Yeah. But now let me ask
The
you this.
biggest thing about that, though, I mean, is when it's all said and done. I mean, you know, if he would have transferred, he probably would have gone back out west, played at USC. I think is where he was talking about wanting to transfer to. But you know, just thank goodness he got into that game and was able to show what he was able to, you know, do as far as throwing the ball. I mean, you know, Hurts, I think when it's all said and done, if he loses the job, I think Hurts will probably play, you know, one more year at Alabama, and then he'll graduate as a junior, and then he can play anywhere he wants his senior year.
Yeah.
I think that's what you'll see what happens here.
That's right, no question. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to mention, of course, there's another quarterback that's out there, Mike, and he must be pretty good. And, you know, it's sort of hard not to play the grandson of Paul Bear Bryant. His name is Tyson, and he plays quarterback for Hewitt-Trussville. How good is he?
I mean, he put up huge numbers. You know, the Hewitt-Trussville's head coach is a Gus Malzahn disciple, came from Arkansas, and I think he's the highest paid coach in the state of Alabama.
Oh, is he?
But yeah, I mean, he put up huge numbers. But you know, they've already signed Tua's brother too.
I know it. That's what I was.
I don't know what's
I don't
going to
think
happen.
there's
You know,
going to be room for all these quarterbacks, is it?
Clemson had a 5-star quarterback, Hunter Johnson, that is set to transfer as well. So I mean, these guys can't play; they're just going to transfer
So
somewhere
a
else.
5-star is going to transfer.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
from Clemson.
Well, you know, how many Alabama 5-stars have transferred? And one of them looks like he's not going to make it, Mike.
Who's
Are you
that?
talking about Ben Davis?
No, the Alabama guy that was number 1 quarterback in the country a couple of years ago.
Blake Barnett's in South Florida now. He's got
Man, all right. He transferred from Alabama to Arizona State.
But you know, he transferred to Arizona State thinking he was going to play under Billy Napier.
Yeah,
Billy
that's right.
Napier
He left.
ended up getting the Louisiana Lafayette job.
Right.
So it's
And where is he going to be
Yeah.
now? Where is he going to be now?
I think he's got a good fit. South Florida, Charlie Strong, you know, they've got a really good program. I mean, they're not, you know, not a Power 5 program, but non-Power 5.
Well, Charlie Strong will develop quite a good team, and the guy from South Florida, goes to Florida State. Is that right?
Well, he went from Oregon to Florida State, Willie Taggart.
Oh, okay. Gosh, I can't keep up with
It's
it.
hard to,
So he went from
Willie
South
Taggart
Florida.
was the coach that was at Western Kentucky back when Troy used to play
That's
him all the
right.
time.
right.
Then he went
Then
to
he got
South
the
Florida.
South Florida job, and then he got the Oregon job, and then
Gosh.
Bouncing
as
around.
soon as Jimbo got hired at A&M, he was like the number one choice to take the Florida State job.
No question about it.
Wow.
First Citizen Bank of Luverne. I want to say good morning to Warren, William, and all the great folks there. And of course, want to mention also Steve Sanders and all the great people that represent First Citizen Bank of Luverne. And also want to mention
They
Premier.
got a location in Highland Home. I'll be passing later today.
Do they really? Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you told me that. I did not know it. And now with a new location in Highland Home, and of course a great place. And anybody that's coming
I
from,
might have to stop at my new restaurant I go to a lot now. It don't matter.
let me see how Facebook works. And I should have done this last night. I've got a telephone that was left in Eufaula yesterday. I went over to a estate sale, Mike, at my brother-in-law's house, and after your mama talked to you on the phone, she set the phone down and we left it. And so if you know anybody that's coming from Eufaula to Troy this morning, please let me know.
You got somebody probably coming back tonight, Ed Rigby. Why don't you just give Ed Rigby a call?
That's right, Ed Rigby. Yes, exactly. I need to talk to Ed. Ed Rigby, call me on this 6700052.
I'm pretty sure Eufaula has an up store where you can get them to send it to you.
Robbie is also probably coming back, Mike.
There's gotta be
Rodney Jordan?
somebody.
Robbie Jordan, yeah. Rodney. And I just need to call Eufaula High School, don't I?
Yeah.
Ed Rigby, or call Ed Rigby. Somebody call Ed Rigby for me and get him to call this show at 6700052, and he can bring my phone to
There you
me.
go.
What if they sell it at the estate sale? They probably already got a price.
No, we know where it is, but out of all the people that I was thinking about that were coming back from Troy, I'm sure Ed probably has a home in Eufaula now, but I'm sure he kept his home in Troy because that's where his wife lives,
Right.
who's the head basketball coach at Troy University. But Ed might want to live on a lake, though. You know what I mean, Mike?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they have an up store. You could overnight it. Don't you think they'd have a UPS store?
That's
in Eufaula?
right. That's right. And
Yeah.
so I'm trying to keep your mama from having to drive over there. She's the responsible party. She don't make many mistakes, but she made that one.
If she drives over there, she'll buy more stuff. And we'll have it more.
Right.
I know it. You're exactly right. She's already mentioned that. He said it might be a good omen because I might buy something else.
You better just pay the UPS shipping.
The sad thing about it, though, she was buying things that used to be her own mama's.
Yeah, I don't understand
That's what made it tough. Was she said, "Oh, that was mama's. I've got to buy that. I got to keep that in the family." And they were selling things that was my wife's.
That's funny.
LSU got a grad transfer quarterback, Joe Burrow. Is transferred from Ohio State to LSU. A lot of people think he'll be LSU's quarterback.
Well, hey, you know what? That could turn them around right there, just like it did Auburn. What would have happened if Auburn had not gotten the quarterback, Mike?
They probably would have gone, I'd say, 8-4 at best.
Yeah.
So it made a huge
it makes
difference.
it makes a big difference.
He'll have 2 years to play.
Yeah, that's right. No question about it. And that's going to be big for LSU if that can happen. No question about it. Of course, we're talking sports. We're talking anything you want to talk. Of course, we want to mention again the great Billy Cannon has died, and Mike, he was everybody thought he was the king of the hill at one time when he was at LSU. He was a native of Philadelphia, Mississippi that ran 9.8, and back then 9.8 and 100-yard dash about as fast as anybody. And He was fast and big and strong. He worked out weights and.
Is he their only? He's their only Heisman winner. From
That's
LSU,
right. That's right. The LSU's only. No, I think Stovall later on was. Mike, look that up. I think after Billy Cannon, I think Jerry Stovall was a Heisman Trophy winner. I need to find that out.
Yeah, they were talking about yesterday who would be on the Mount Rushmore of LSU athletes, and they were talking about Billy Cannon, Shaquille O'Neal, Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
And then they were trying to figure out who the next few would be. They had a shooting guard one time named Chris Jackson that averaged about 38 a game.
Yeah, that's right. I'm trying to think of some of those guys.
LSU Heisman Trophy winners, huh?
Danny LeBlanc, Cosmo Iacovacci,
What a name.
Diego Segui. No, he didn't go to LSU.
Oh, where did he go?
Those are some of my favorite names. See, I'm a name guy. You know, I'm a name guy. You know,
What was the one you said before that?
Cosmo Iacovacci.
Gosh.
And of course, Diego Segui was a relief pitcher. LSU had some great ones that played for them that had some unusual names. All right, of course we're gonna move right on.
I think Billy Cannon's
So Stovall did not make the was not a Heisman winner. So you're right, no question about it. I tell you, they had a quarterback that was pretty good that played for the long time with the Baltimore Colts, Mike. Number 7.
Burt Jones.
Burt Jones was a good player. He'd be on the wall probably. Of course, they had some old great linemen.
Yeah, if they put coaches on there, it'd probably be Skip Bertman, the great LSU.
Yeah, oh yeah, he was a great one. Yeah, no question about it. And
big news yesterday is Johnny Football signed with a Canadian League team.
Yeah, that is going to enhance that league. He'll feel the stadium everywhere he goes, Mike.
The average Canadian League football player makes $80,000. They signed Johnny Manziel for $150,000.
Oh, okay.
He's already making more money than anybody else. But
all right. Now I know we got one guy that's still in there, and he's ready to hit Johnny Manziel too.
You talking about Bear Woods?
Bear Woods, believe it or not, long with his big red locks and all that. Yep. He can't wait to hit Johnny Manziel.
You know he'd love to.
Bear Woods, and of course he was one of the all-time greats. Do you know Bear Woods came to Troy as a quarterback? Did you know that, Mike?
Yeah, he's a walk-on quarterback.
Walk-on quarterback. Really? would you ever thunk it? You know that word thunk? T-H-U-N-K.
He's from McKinney, Florida, which is right there on right around Florala, isn't it?
He became one of the great leaders of all time. When he hit the field, everybody was ready to play because he kept them fired up.
That's a shame. He was on the Atlanta Falcons practice squad, I think 2 years in a row, but never got into a game.
I know it, and I tell you, I'm sure he's making a good living. He's probably making 6 figures at least, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I remember I called Kennard Davis, who coached the Charles Henderson. Kennard was on the Patriots.
Kennard was another good one.
Yeah.
And I think he had injuries, but he said the Bear was one of the highest paid guys in the Canadian League.
Oh, really? That is great.
That's good for him.
And
another guy that's still playing out there has been playing for years. Remember the defensive end, Brandon Lane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He still plays in Canada.
Yeah, well, evidently, Mike, you're putting your hand in front of your mic or something. We can't hear you.
Oh, I've got bars. I don't know.
There we go. Of course, Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham.
I guess I can't lean back on the couch.
Mike Amos calling in from Birmingham.
I'm trying to babysit 2 kids.
Mike, I want to put a plug in for your church. We had we were in Birmingham for a christening ceremony.
It's a baptism.
A baptism. Mike, tell us about your church. Man, it is one of the most beautiful churches I've ever been in.
It's been around since 1876. St. Mary's on Holland, right there in 5 Points in downtown Birmingham.
How old is that church now, Mike? It had to be built in the 1800s, didn't it?
I said 1876.
That's amazing.
Yeah, 1876, and the glass in that church is just breathtaking, and the way they do things, just has so much class about it. It's well organized, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, we got a really wonderful, choir, and it's one of those things where we're, very blessed to be able to go down there and go to church. We've enjoyed it.
Wow.
My wife and I actually met through that church, so it's always special to us.
Well, I'll tell you something about it.
I got both kids baptized now, so I guess the only thing now I got to do is save up about $100,000 for a couple weddings, maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
Well, I'll tell you
Don't
this.
forget about college.
You're exactly right.
Well, we got the grandmother taking care of that.
Okay, good. That's
Oh
good.
yeah, okay. Mike, you don't have to share all your secrets.
I don't know if Mike and Carol will help out.
No, we can't afford it.
Maybe Dad can pull some strings and help me get a scholarship at Troy University
There
for
you
one
go.
of them.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, you're right. Of course, we're just proud as we can be of them, and I was just proud of the way they did that at your church. And I like the reverence, and my wife's big on being reverent. When you go to church, and it's y'all do the
Communion.
y'all have that every Sunday, don't you?
Yeah, in the Episcopal Church.
I think it adds a lot. I think it adds a lot to it. I really do. And I think it adds a lot of formality. I think it adds a lot of oneness to the church. Everybody's doing all that together.
Right.
I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of those things where I grew up going to First Baptist in Troy, and that was a good church. And just later in life, I started going to the Episcopal Church with my twin sister Camille and her husband, and I really just love that church.
Turned your life around, didn't it?
Yeah.
That's good.
Led you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Mike, all right, I'm gonna see how good you are, Mike. Tell me the top 5 golfers in the world right now. It's out this week. Number 1 is who?
Well, Justin Thomas is number 1.
All right, who's number 2?
I would imagine Dustin Johnson's number 2.
He is number 2. Who's number 3?
Number 3 would probably be me. Number 3.
Your favorite golfer, other than young golfer. Your favorite young golfer?
Spieth?
Yeah, he's 3rd.
3, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And number 4 is who?
Number 4
Big
is
burly guy.
Is what, Henry Stenson or
No.
Yama?
No. John Ram,
Oh, Rahm, yeah.
Rom, whatever. And number 5 is Justin Rose.
Really?
And then these guys are familiar.
They had an Alabama golf alumni weekend in Tuscaloosa, and I was down there working yesterday, and a buddy of mine was playing in Indian Hills, and he said he was teeing off on number 9. They had just been in the clubhouse, and he said all of a sudden a couple of guys come up on carts, and it's Justin Thomas and Trey Mullinex, and he had to tee off in front of Justin Thomas.
Oh, did he? Well, I'm sure
Can you
Jerry.
imagine having to tee off in front of the number 1 player in golf?
Yeah, I'm sure Jerry Pate was there, wasn't he?
Well, I'm sure all those guys were there. I'm sure Bud Colley, Trey Mullinex, all those guys are playing on tour right now with Justin Thomas, and that's he said he talked to him afterwards. He said Justin Thomas is humble and as nice as he can be. All he wants to do is talk about Alabama football and talk about stuff going on in Tuscaloosa. So
Yeah.
seems like a really good guy.
Of course, Ricky Fowler. I tell you, I really like Ricky Fowler and the way he carried himself. And
Yeah, I hope Ricky can win a major. He's kind of getting in the same boat as Mickelson. Mickelson, some people don't realize he didn't win a major till he's 33.
Yeah, I know.
Bubba's 17 and Mickelson is 18th in the world. But the next 5 are Fowler, Jason Day, and I tell you right now, out of all I'm out there in a big match, I'd take Day. I'd take Jason Day. He's a solid player.
Yeah.
Then Rory McIlroy. It's bigger and stronger than everybody. I remember when he was just
Jason Day's
looked like a
bigger.
little kid out
Yeah.
there. But I think he works out more than any of them, Mike.
Yeah, he's big.
I mean, he is big and strong and can hit it a mile.
Right.
Mike, are you still on?
Yeah, I'm still on.
Then McElroy is 8th, Hideki is 9th, and Paul Casey is 10th. But what I'm getting down to is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 out of 10 are from another country.
Yeah.
Well, you got Rom from Spain,
Yeah.
McElroy's from Ireland.
That's right. Brooks
Matsuyama
Koepka.
from, was Matsuyama from Japan?
Yeah. Brooks Koepka is now number 11, and Fleetwood, he's an up-and-coming star. This Tommy Fleetwood, isn't he? With the long hair?
Yeah, he's got long hair.
He's out of England.
He needed to cut his darn hair, though, man. Yeah, I thought he'd be on that other tour.
A lot of people get strength from their hair.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Are you going to come up? Are you going to come up and watch the Women's U.S. Open up here, Dad?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
Women's U.S. Open at Shoal Creek will start next week up here, so there'll be a lot of people coming in town for that.
I would think that would be a real good, way to see Shoal Creek. I love Shoal Creek.
Yeah.
Mike, the SEC tournament starts today, and they've got Vanderbilt and Texas A&M at 9:30. Now, this is a beautiful ballpark. This Regions ballpark is beautiful, but they say the traffic is
Hoover Met.
They're playing
or the Hoover Met.
Yeah.
I mean, excuse me, the Hoover Met. But they say the traffic is unreal. So if you go into the game, you need to leave early.
Yeah.
Is that right,
Well,
Mike?
they're doing tons of road construction. Yeah, anybody coming up, all you got to do is turn off 459 like you're going to the Galleria, and it's the next exit, which will be 150.
Yeah. And of course, there'll be some great baseball. You've got Vanderbilt and Texas A&M, then Auburn and Kentucky at 1 today. LSU versus Mississippi Ole Miss is at 4:30, and Arkansas and Arkansas. Wait a minute, excuse me, I'm not doing this right. Vanderbilt and Texas A&M at 9:30, then Auburn and Kentucky at 1, LSU and Mississippi State at 4:30. South Carolina and Missouri at 8, and you want to know where Alabama is? They didn't make it.
Didn't make it.
Yeah,
And they had a winning season, didn't they, Mike?
No, they're 27 and 29, so they didn't have a winning season. But Chandler Avant from Troy had a really good season for him, and best of luck to Chandler.
The draft is this week too, isn't it, Mike? In the draft this week or next week?
I think it's maybe next week. Yeah.
All right, and everybody says that Avant's probably going to be drafted,
Yep.
and he's right now looks like they'll draft him as a second baseman, Mike.
Oh, I thought he played short.
No, he moved. He's playing second now.
Is he really?
Yeah, and he wears glasses now too, which is unusual
Really?
for him.
I didn't know.
Talking about Chandler Avant, he came out of Pike Liberal Arts School right here in Troy, and outstanding player. But Mike, he broke his ankle. I think it was his ankle that he broke, and his speed is not quite as dynamic as it used to be. He's still real fast, but he used to outrun everybody.
Right.
Yeah, I knew he had some injuries at Alabama, but it's one of those type things. If you play in an SEC program, I mean, if you do get drafted, you usually go up to at least 1A, pretty early. So he'll definitely get a shot. I was reading last night, Tebow in 162 games now in the minor leagues. Tebow's hit over 12 home runs and it's got like a batting average around 240. That's pretty phenomenal for a guy that's 30 years old that hadn't played baseball since his junior year in high school.
Wouldn't you love to see him make it? Wouldn't that be great?
But I mean, that just tells you what kind of athlete he is. He had, in 162 games, which is a normal, regular major league season, he's had 12 home runs, 70 RBIs, and 32 doubles.
You're right.
That's not that bad.
No,
32
that's not
doubles
bad.
means he can run a little bit too.
That's amazing.
Well, he can run, but I mean, I think that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, who's he with, Mike? What?
He's with the Mets Double-A.
All right. So what position would he play if he did make it up there?
He plays left field.
All right, left field. I tell you what, if they brought him up, he'd add at least 5,000 more people to the game. He'd make them 5,000.
Every game he plays in is a sellout in the minor leagues.
I know it. You're right. Let me tell you this: people love him. Everybody says, "Oh gosh."
Think about how many jerseys they could sell his number on.
Man, he's one of the great athletes of all time.
He could run for governor in Florida
Yeah.
I mean, anytime he wants to win it, probably.
And there was another one just like him, probably not quite as famous as he was, but he did win a couple.
Danny Werfel.
Danny Werfel was the same way.
Yeah.
A great Christian athlete
Right.
that led his team to. He led his team to 2 national championships, didn't he, Mike? Werfel did, didn't he?
No, Spurrier only won 1.
But Werfel won the Heisman Trophy, and so did Tebow.
That's
you
right.
know.
That's right.
Yeah,
And,
now Tebow won 2 national championships, and Werfel only won 1.
How many Heismans did Tebow win? Just one.
Just
His
1.
junior year, wasn't it?
All right, name me the other one, that only person that you can remember that had won more than one Heisman Trophy.
That's Archie Griffin, isn't it?
That's right,
Is that
Archie
it?
Griffin with Ohio State.
That's right.
He's the only one, isn't he, Mike?
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, again, I know a lot of folks are excited about graduation.
Yep.
We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back with more after this. Stay with us, brother. Coffee, please, coffee.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
So I was sitting in my office one day, and a gentleman walked in who really works from probably daylight to dark. We talked about what was going on with his company and what was going on in his life, his family, and so forth, with friends. And so after he left, I came back to my office and I noticed mud on the floor. So I got to thinking about, what that mud was representing when I was getting it up. It represents hard work. It represents people getting up early, providing for their families. It represents all that time and sweat and effort goes in to make our economy run. And it represents those taxpayers that pay the salaries that fund government. And so those are the people that I work for. And we can't forget that. We got to make sure that we're responsive to the people. We got to make sure that we cut government regulations. We got to make sure we stand firm against those burdensome things that allow people to go out and achieve their dreams. And the people that earn their living by getting mud on their boots, that's who I work for, and that's who I'm going to represent in Montgomery.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Telling you, full of energy. You got more energy than you ever had.
Back on, Mike.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
So I was sitting in my office one day, and a gentleman walked in who really works from probably daylight to dark. We talked about what was going on with his company and what was going on in his life, his family, and so forth, with friends. And so after he left, I came back to my office and I noticed mud on the floor. So I got to thinking about, what that mud was representing when I was getting it up. It represents hard work. It represents people getting up early, providing for their families. It represents all that time and sweat and effort goes in to make our economy run. And it represents those taxpayers that pay the salaries that fund government. And so those are the people that I work for. And we can't forget that. We got to make sure that we're responsive to the people. We got to make sure that we cut government regulations. We got to make sure we stand firm against those burdensome things that allow people to go out and achieve their dreams. And the people that earn their living by getting mud on their boots, that's who I work for, and that's who I'm going to represent in Montgomery.
At the Piggly Wiggly, we proudly support our local farmers and bring you the best they have to offer, all at cost plus 10%. When you shop local, you reinvest in your community. Remember, buy local, shop local. Piggly Wiggly, local since forever.
Back to our show, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, it is a Tuesday on our show, and we appreciate Stephen Curtis being with us, and he is alive and well and kicking.
That's right.
And,
the number you have dialed has not...
Bum. Let's go back. Trying to reach Coach Rigby this morning and seeing if he's going to be coming back today or whatever, or Rodney or somebody. I've got his number here. Call him on your phone. You got your phone?
Yeah, I'll see if I can get it.
The number is 850.
Hang on.
Let
me get it right. 850
776 1059.
I'm gonna put it on speakerphone.
Yeah, it'd be great. Yeah, be great.
He may not answer, not knowing who this is.
I know, but I don't know. I don't think he's afraid. I don't think he is afraid by any means. He might already be over in Eufaula. Calling Egg Rigby today. He's probably, like you said, he's probably asking who that is.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 850-776-1059 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Coach Rigby, Mike Amos calling from Today in L.A. Please give me a call as soon as you get this message. Area code 334-670-60052. 670-0052. Thank you so much. And of course, Mike, you still on the line? Well, let's see here. I've already lost Mike Amos, but we're excited about graduation going on today, and I know there are a lot of people out there that are excited about their kids this morning, and I'm going to call one of them right now.
Coach Snyder?
Yeah, I was going to call Coach Snyder and give him a ring. Of course,
I think you lost him.
Well, let's see here. All right, well, that's dial 1, I think, don't we?
No, 268.
My fault. All right, just 268.
I don't know if you have to dial 9 to get out or not.
I think you do.
The number you have entered has not...
You got to dial 9. I mean 9. All right.
268.
This is laid-back television, ladies and gentlemen, at its very best.
That's right. Maybe he'll answer.
And I don't even know how to dial.
Let me see if I can help you one time.
All right.
Do you have to hit that dial button?
Yeah, you do have to hit the dial button. Right there. All right, let's see what
Cuts
happens.
off when it does it, so I don't know what we're doing wrong.
Well, I don't know either. Let's see. We're bound to make it.
Not sure.
It should do it right there. Hopefully.
There it goes.
And then he's probably not at school. They might not even have
That's
school
a cell
today.
number there. Looks like.
Yeah.
He may be busy.
No question about it. We're calling Goshen head football coach
Bart Snyder.
Bart Snyder. And you know,
Hey, hello.
good morning, Bart Snyder. How you doing? This is Mike Amos calling in from Today in L.A. Want to congratulate you, man. A great honor for your son last night, Brock.
Yes, sir, it was. We're very proud of him, and Abby Barron as well. Those are two outstanding, but what an outstanding group of young men and young ladies that were there last night to represent this county for such an outstanding award.
You know, I'm there usually every year to introduce or to interview the candidates, and I last night I didn't know if I was going to ever get through. It was, I think, 27.
Yeah.
It was very
Yes, sir.
impressive.
A large group, and like I said, we felt like at Goshen, and that there was a few others that I was kind of shocked that didn't put their name in the hat that was just as deserving. And I know that Ms. Whitaker and Mr. Wright, I've talked to them, and down at Pike County, they felt the same way. Charles Henderson, as well as Pike Live, felt like Pike Live had a huge number there, and which that's the way it ought to be. You know, put your name in the pot and see where the chips fall, because they outstanding young men and young ladies last night.
Well, you had the winner and the runner-up that you
Yes,
know
sir.
pretty well.
Yes, sir. We
Two
were
young
very,
men
very
you
proud,
had
very
touched.
honored that they were representing Goshen and Pike County.
A lot of plaudits went out to the great Major Lane last night. Several kids said, "Hey, he was their role model."
Yes, sir, and that he is. I mean, he's a great guy.
Is he going to retire, really?
Yes, sir. He is. He is hanging the whistle and the coat and all that up. And he's going into his ministry and going
Well, I
to
tell
spend
you
some
what,
time with
he's
his
a great
wonderful,
man.
wonderful wife, Miss Peggy Lane, and as well as
The great Major Lang. I knew him when he was a young man working the ball games, rec games in the summers. Everybody loved Major Lang.
yes, sir. He just got that charisma about himself, and he's going to do things the right way.
Yeah.
He's not going to please everybody, but he's going to do it the right way.
Bart, I got Stephen Curtis back alive and well, and then says he feels better than he's ever felt.
That's great.
Good. How
I'm
you
proud
doing,
of that.
Bart?
I tell you
Yeah.
what, that's a fine gentleman right there himself, and our thoughts and
that.
prayers have been with him and his family as he was going through this stuff. Gave us a big scare, Stephen. So
Yeah.
glad that you're doing better.
Thank you, Bart. Scared us
You
all,
know,
but we're good.
When you were sitting there last night, Bart, and of course with Stephanie, who was an All-American 3 or 4 times over again, and you know, you had to say to yourself, "Thank God I live in Pike County, Alabama."
There's no doubt. You know, you couldn't melt me and pour me anywhere. I'd run right back here.
But you know, let me tell you, there's a lot of oneness. You know, I think everybody loves each other.
There's no doubt.
Great
No
community.
doubt whatsoever.
Of course, you know, we're talking to Stephen. You know, he's running for the judgeship here in Pike County, district judge in Pike County, and you know, they're good candidates everywhere. You know what I'm saying? And
Yes,
you know,
there is.
and of course, we're just so glad that we got this kind of people living in our community.
Yeah.
We're very blessed, and I mean, you know, and it makes it difficult when you have these quality people that are running for these offices. And I mean, there's so many qualified and just great people out there. You know, we're very blessed.
All right, now let me ask you something real quick. Of course, you were dominant in the Jamboree or in the Troy Cable Spring Classic. What do you think about that now? How many places in Alabama do you think you can bring in 16 of the top schools in Alabama, Florida, Georgia? Don't you know that was a big success?
It was, and I tell you, Coach McCoy and his staff and Troy Cable done an outstanding job with all of that. Just was a great atmosphere, and it gives our kids and all these young men an opportunity to get out there and perform at on a field like Troy's got. I mean, what a beautiful atmosphere to.
It is
to
more
play.
beautiful than ever now, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You know, Bart, I've always said Charles Henderson is so fortunate to be able to play in such a great venue.
Yeah.
But you know, you can see these other teams that come in that play Charles Henderson every year that they're just always in awe. And I'm sure your kids are kind of the same way when they get to play up here in Troy on that field every year.
And you know, this is a thing that I think, you know, is whenever you do and you get to play at if you get to make it to the state championship game, you're going to play at one that's even bigger.
Right.
And the amaze, you know, being, like you said, in awe. And this right here kind of gives you a little preparation for if you do make it there.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
That's
to see that venue like that, and then when you go there, you're not as awestruck and as you would be
Well,
there for the first time.
Let me tell you now. You make me wanna cry. You make me wanna cry. You know that song. You make me wanna shout. You know. I know what you did on the football field, and then you turn around and you're right in the middle of the Special Olympics. Bart, I was so proud of you this weekend.
Well, that was just a blessing for me. I mean, I tell you what, when I was called and asked to come do that, I didn't know that that's what I could do. And after I thought about it, and Shane Tatum and them taught me into.
You were wonderful.
And it was just unbelievable, heart-touching. Some of the greatest people that you can meet were those athletes right there.
What I liked about you, you made them feel important. You made them feel good.
Well, they are important. They are good, and they made me feel that way because of the high fives and the fist bumps and the hugs and just, I mean, I was the special. I mean, they made me feel special.
There was, I would say, there was between 3,000 to 5,000 people at that event. It was a huge event, wasn't it?
Yes, sir, it was.
Wow. Can you believe Troy could handle all those events right back to back? That was unbelievable, wasn't it?
That was great. We had the Troy, South Alabama playing baseball. We had Charles Henderson and Troy Cable spring games. And we had the state Special Olympics going on all at one time.
And then the week before, they had 5,000 softball players and their parents and so forth. Dan said it was the largest group ever at that facility, the Sportsplex facility, Bart. And then, ladies and gentlemen, for graduation, it was in a record crowd of 7,000 at graduation. Hey, no place to get anything to eat. Everybody ran out of hamburger meat. Everybody ran out of hot dogs. Man, we got to do something.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Well, I'll tell you.
Hey, but just think, you know who the real winner was in all of this? The city of Troy.
That's right.
Boy, they put a lot of money in their chest fund, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's no doubt. No doubt on that. They did.
But again, I thought you guys did a fabulous job. I watched you on Facebook. That was really impressive.
So we appreciate that.
Of course, Bart Snyder and of course you brought some of your folks with you to help though too, didn't you?
Oh yes, sir. Yes, sir. We did. Had some there. Some of our cheerleaders was there to.
The reason I've called him up is to congratulate him on several things, and of course, one of them, his son, was the winner last night of the Tip Collie Award.
Right.
But now tell us now, do you get any kind of vacation? This is the only time of the year that you really are able to take 2 weeks and relax. Is that right?
No, sir.
No, sir. What do you mean? What do you got to do?
Well, I had a college coach that tell me one time, says, Coach, I bet this is great right here. You don't have to worry about your kids or anything like that. Well, you do. You never know with a high school kid when they're going to decide that they don't want to play ball anymore, or if somebody else is coming around trying to convince them that their program is where they need to be. And you just have to keep an eye on them and watch them and let them know that you love them. And then if you want to be great, you got to work to be great, and you got to make an investment in it. And that's why we have some.
All right, you got some camps that they're going to, or what?
Yes, sir, we do. We have several that have been invited to some camps, and then we got others that'll be attending them as well. And we'll, as a coach, I try my best to be at what I can be for those kids. I want to know that I'm there for them, and like I said, we have. We still have the Alabama High School has a rules clinic conference that we have in the middle of July, and this particular one, we have a couple of kids that are actually playing in one of the All-Star games. We had a baseball player last year, Corey Peterson, and then this year we have Devin Bell, Zach Alford, and Brock Snyder that were chosen to play and represent the South team in the Alabama High School All-Star football game.
I want you to hold on. Steven's got to leave.
I got to leave. Got an appointment. But good to talk to you, Bart.
Yes, sir. Great.
Good to see you.
See you next
Bart,
Tuesday.
good deal. Of course, Bart Snyder is on the line, and Bart, something, let me check this. I'll put you on hold a minute, Bart.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. How you doing?
Mike, good morning to you. This is Gerald Allen from Tuscaloosa.
Gerald Allen from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Let me put you on hold a minute, Gerald, and I'll be right back with you.
Yes.
All right, Bart, tell us about what your schedule is, though. Now you're able to have your team on the field with helmets for as early as the second week in June. Is that right?
Well, there is a mixture of time that the Alabama High School lets us do that, but what we try to do is we have so many athletes that participate in multiple sports. And so what we kind of do at Goshen is we have workouts 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and we have them in the mornings. But
don't they get at least a week or two off?
We have the first week that we're out, which is next week. They're off. We come in June 5th, and we'll go wide open until the week of 4th of July. And we have a lot of people, that take vacations, things. So we go ahead and set that up to where hopefully our kids can work that around and maybe get to do something during that time as well. So we give them that week off, and then we have those 3 days. I think it's 22, 24, some number of workouts that we have right there. But we ask them to work, and that's what they're doing. A lot of our kids have to work, so we'll actually be at the school around 5:30.
That's what I'm saying. You're there in the mornings and at the night, aren't you?
Well, no, sir. We one thing that we have found out of our area, we come from such a large area in the county.
So it's at night mostly, or when?
No, so it's in the morning. We do the mornings. That way the grass is wet. A lot of our kids do grass cuttings and stuff like that for extra money. And so we try to allow them to get out there and do jobs. And in order to do those jobs, they got time. So we bring them in early in the morning and get the stuff done. And,
how many did you dress this spring? How many were out there?
There was 37 of them out there.
Hey, well, that looks good. So you expect to dress it, right around 40 maybe?
We between 30 and 40 is what we look at.
Right, that'd be good.
Depends on how they do in this classroom stuff. Right. Some are borderline, but.
All right, listen, I've got another call waiting me right now, but it's so great to talk to you, and I hope I can talk to you many times before season starts.
Yes, sir. You're always welcome to call here, Mr. Mike. Thank you. For all
you on Today in L.A.? Good morning.
Mike, good morning to you, sir.
And Gerald Allen calling from downtown Centerville, or where are you calling from, or Tuscaloosa? Where are you calling from?
Downtown Tuscaloosa. In fact, I've got a meeting at 8:30 with my probate Judge Hardy McCollum.
I know Hardy McCollum. I know Farrington Snipes. Do you know a guy named Farrington Snipes?
I do know Farrington.
You know a guy named Rusty Gibson?
Absolutely, we do. And
those guys are close friends of mine.
Well, I tell you what, you have you got some great friends there, Mike.
Yeah. Tell us what's going on.
Well, hey, we're involved in a campaign up here for Senate District 21, and of course,
people don't realize it now. How long have you been in the legislature, Gerald?
I spent 16 years in the state house, representing House District 62, and which my Senate district covers that as well as Pickens and Lamar County.
So you've got a big area. You got a big area you've got to cover.
Yes, sir. So I've served 16 years in the House and just completed my second term in the state Senate.
Yeah. Another guy I forgot to add. Do you know a guy named Johnny Williams?
Johnny Williams, I watched that boy grow up.
In fact, tell him you're actually from downtown Holt, Alabama. Is that right?
Well, it's a suburb. I've raised in a little community called Cottondale.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, of course, I went to Holt High School, and Johnny Williams was a a water boy and a ball boy when I was playing for Holt and going to school at Holt. I mean, he was a 7th grader when I was a senior.
Yeah, no question about it. I know y'all are good friends. I just had to throw that out. Gerald, of course, you've been in politics for a while, and you've been a very effective state senator. And, of course, you're something that is happening right now, ladies and gentlemen, that's never happened before, to my knowledge, Gerald, is you got a father running for the legislature and you got a son running for the legislature. Is that true?
Yeah, yes, sir. That's if you know, one of the things that's going to happen is that in November, when Wes Allen takes the House seat of District 89, and of course myself winning the re-election here in Tuscaloosa, it's the first time in state history that a father and a son will be serving at the same time.
Isn't that amazing?
Yes, sir. So that is correct, Mike.
Now, of course, ladies and gentlemen, no need to introduce Wes Allen, who is our candidate for the state legislature is it state senate or it's the state senate?
It's the state house. District 89.
Yeah, House district. What district?
89. In other words, he's going to fill the vacant seat that Representative Alan Booth, in which I served with.
Yeah, that's right. You know Alan well.
Absolutely, a dear friend. He and Ann are just great people.
You know, I saw him out at Sisters. I know you know Troy well enough to know where Sisters is. I see you.
Oh, yes, sir.
I see your daughter-in-law, who is so precious. I see her out there quite a bit.
Absolutely.
and I saw, our representative Booth, and I asked him. I said, "Are you gonna miss it? Are you gonna miss it?" He said, "Oh no, shoot." He'll be cranking it. He'll probably be walking out, cranking his car and heading to Montgomery, and then saying to himself, "Oh gosh, I'm not there anymore."
Well, Alan Booth has done an extraordinary job for the community of Troy and Pike County and Dale, and certainly he's paid his community dues quite well.
No question about it. We're talking to Gerald Allen, whose son Wes Allen is running for the legislative seat that will be left by Alan Booth.
That's right.
Tell us about your son and why we should vote for him for the legislature, Gerald.
Well, it's of course you alluded to my service as I sponsored many major pieces of legislation, and the old saying goes, the apple doesn't fall very far from the tree.
Yeah, that's right.
And although let me just say this, Wes takes after his mother a great deal, and but I've carried pieces of legislation that affects the entire state, and my son, who has a big commitment towards being the servant that he wants to be, he will do those things that will promote growth as far as economics growth, and at the same time put in place policies that will help protect the citizens' tax dollars. Yeah. And that's important.
Well, as a probate judge, he did many things that were very innovative, and of course, I think he was the, a guy that stood for way he believed, and I think a lot of people support his beliefs quite
That's
well.
Right. Well, with Mike, I think you mentioned that, and it's a pretty clear picture. If you followed my son's service in the probate office and saw the way he ran that office, and at the same time made some very difficult decisions on some things that really points to where he really is as far as the type person, the type man, and the commitment that he's willing to make towards making decisions in Montgomery. So that's where Wes is, and I appreciate that comment that you made, Mike.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say this, too. I've known Gerald a long time. Of course, he is a very close friend of Johnny Williams, and Johnny and I are very close friends, and I've sort of met you and know you through Johnny. But and then also now through Wes, who's been in Troy. Gosh, I told him the other day he's been in Troy longer than he's been anywhere else in his life. Don't you agree?
Absolutely.
And your good friend Johnny Williams is the reason he's in Troy, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely, he is. And Johnny called Wes from Tuscaloosa, and Wes had established himself there with his family of Kay and Davis and Dee, and they love Troy.
Yeah.
And Troy is their home.
Yeah.
And you can bet that Wes will do all the things that he needs to do to protect Pike County and part of Dale.
Of course, he worked for Troy University several years, and
That's right.
And of course I know he loves Troy University. I want to mention something though. I saw y'all. Pike Liberal Arts played in the big state baseball tournament in Tuscaloosa, and I saw you at the games, and boy, what a fine athlete Davis Allen is, your grandson. Did it surprise you how good he was?
No, not really, because I watched Davis.
Because he was only in the 10th grade.
That's right. He's got a great future ahead of him. He's developed into a not only a good athlete, but he's a wonderful young man, and great things are expected of Davis. He's a great student and a good athlete, and his mom and dad did a great job. And of course, my granddaughter Dee.
Yeah.
Don't
want to forget her. Don't want to forget her.
Yeah, listen, Mike. I look for her to follow in her mom's footsteps.
Yeah. And her mom was the head majorette, or the head Crimsonette at the University of Alabama.
That's right, and I look for Dee to follow her mom's footsteps and do the same thing. And I mean that little girl, she can do most anything, but she can twirl already. And so I tell you what, Troy will produce some great talent through my grandchildren.
Yeah, no question about it. Now, I would like to say this. A lot of people don't realize this, but Wes is no different than Davis. He's had good tutelage. You raised Wes in an athletic background. A lot of people don't realize this, that right out of high school he went to play baseball for a great program, and I'll say that because they are Jacksonville State under a legendary coach, and he started as a center fielder his freshman year. You don't do that much under Rudy Abbott. Isn't that right?
That's right, Wes. He was a very gifted athlete and got great speed. Really, I mean, I would hate to be in a foot race with my son because he would embarrass me to know.
Well, I was going to ask you this. Now, of course, he later on transferred to Alabama, walked on to Alabama, played under a legendary coach there, and of course, they're still very good friends, aren't they?
Oh, absolutely, they are. And Coach Stallings fell in love with Wes, and I tell you what, that was a great venture for Wes, and he learned a lot out of that experience and being around Coach Stallings and all. Of course, building friendships with all the teammates that he did.
Well, one of his best friends just happens to be the head coach at Clemson University. Isn't that right?
That's right, and not only that, but one of his teammates is the head coach at the University of Tennessee.
Oh, isn't that amazing? Boy, so, in his quiet way, he knows a lot of people in athletics, I know, and, of course,
That's right.
But, I was going to ask you this. I knew Wes would have had to been able to run, or he could have never played wide receiver at Alabama. But, hey, this Davis can fly now. Was Wes as fast as Davis was as a 10th grader?
I would have to say that Wes was as fast as Davis.
And so he was real fast. I mean, this Davis Allen can fly. I mean, I did not realize how fast he was.
Well, I tell you what, Wes gets his speed from his mother. Okay.
Well, I'll say this. I know you were proud to be in Tuscaloosa, your hometown, and seeing your grandson play like he did in that series. Have you ever seen a bunch of outfielders play any better than they did in that series? Have you ever seen that?
One thing, speed makes a difference.
It sure does.
I mean, and a little talent goes a long ways, but man, when you got speed, that's you can cover the ground and do what you have to do and make those plays.
And they did the same thing. Of course, the field at Tuscaloosa Academy was not near as big as the field at Patterson Field, but that field, I mean, they covered that ground. I mean, they made catches that some of those pro guys that played in that stadium couldn't have made.
I'm gonna tell you what, it's amazing on a dead run.
Yeah.
And make a catch like Davis and the center fielder did, and the left fielder. I'm gonna tell you what, they did a fabulous job, Mike.
But you know something, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking to the father of Wes Allen and Gerald Allen, and Gerald, it's no different than me raising my child, Wes raising his child, you raising your child. Right. How many balls, would you like to have a penny for every ball you threw your son over the years?
Man, listen, it was not only that, but I can.
And I think everybody, especially around here, could say that, you know.
Well, I tell you what, I can remember going hunting, coon hunting with my son, and walking in about daylight, on a Sunday morning, and eating breakfast and taking a shower and going to church. Listen, fathers and moms need to spend a lot of time with their young children, and that's exactly what Wes and Kay has done. They invested their time with Davis and Dee, and that's why the Lord has blessed us with a wonderful family, Mike.
Now, I love that coon hunting. And listen, a lot of folks right here don't know what coon hunting is, but those that do, it's about like it's contagious when you got a good dog, isn't it?
That's it. It's amazing what a little time in the woods will do. I mean, you learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
Just
Gerald, of course, you've been involved in a lot of different legislation. What legislation did you get passed in the state House of Representatives that you're more proud of than anything else?
Well, it has to be. I was a freshman in 1994, and
a freshman House Representative.
I passed a bill that fulfilled the state commitment to bring Mercedes-Benz to Alabama.
I understand. That was huge.
That was a big deal. I mean, that was a big deal, and of course, the photo ID bill. In other words, I carried the photo ID bill. There's nothing wrong, Mike.
That was also big.
Oh, yeah. I carried that bill 15 years in the House until 2010, until the Republicans took control of the House and the Senate. We was able to pass that bill.
We're talking about your picture on your driver's license. Is that what we're talking about?
Right. So that piece there was a big one as well.
Yeah, no question about it. And now, Gerald, I was up there. I worked with ADECA and ADO for 28 years, and I was right there at Mercedes too, handling the environmental part of it, along with a guy named Farrington Snipes. They gave. Now you got to agree with me. They gave Mercedes the automobile plant, but in return, they got Honda, they got Hyundai, they got. Wouldn't you say that would be true?
Yes, sir. I mean, that one piece of legislation and all the work. There's a lot of people that's involved in that. From Jim Folsom.
Sure, a lot of people. And listen. And our friend, our governor that's been incarcerated for a way, he was right in the middle of that too, wouldn't you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And but anyway, it did open the doors of Alabama.
Talking about Siegelman, yeah.
The international business community noticed that there was something different about Alabama, and it opened the doors, and everybody wanted to come and see. And guess what? They came.
And just think how many jobs. Of course, you know what I said. I'm being facetious a little bit, but what I'm saying, we did everything we could to get Mercedes to come to Alabama, and once they got here, we all these other car manufacturers saying, "Look here in Alabama what they've done for Mercedes," and everybody in the world started to flock in here, and it's really enhanced our industry, don't you think?
That's it. Absolutely, and to give the opportunities for good, high-paying, quality jobs to our citizens is what it's all about, and that's exactly what you're going to get out of West Allen.
No question about it. Gerald, I'm glad you called. It's been a very interesting conversation, and of course, we look forward to seeing you in the near future.
Absolutely. Well, listen, God bless you, and God bless America, Mike.
All right, thank you, Gerald Allen, calling in from Tuscaloosa this morning. Hope you've enjoyed our show. It's been a great show. Look forward to seeing you very soon on Today in L.A.